Back in the day, my firm used to list and sell HUD-owned homes. There was one time we received a property way out in the country in Ridgemont, North Carolina, to sell. The property was a manufactured home on a large lot. The awkward thing about it was that it was located behind and surrounded by other properties. It was only accessible by a gravel road up to a certain point, and at the wide intersection, we had to go down a narrow dirt trail to get to it. You had to walk the trail if you didn't have a truck or a four-wheeler. So I went to the trailer to check it out and take some pictures to get it ready to list. While I was there doing my thing, I saw an old man holding a rifle with a dog, slowly walking down the trail. I started to think, half jokingly, if this is it for me, was I about to get shot? Unfortunately, this wasn't the first time someone pulled out a gun on me while being in real estate. When he gets to me, I tell him that I'm a real estate agent, hired by HUD to sell this property, and he tells me that he lives next door and about how the land that we're on has been in his family for years, and that he split it up and gave it to his family to live on. He obviously was not happy that the lot was foreclosed on. I provided him how he can get in contact with HUD and explained the bidding process if he wanted to buy the property back. He seemed satisfied, and I was glad that I didn't get shot. And continue with the listing of the property and getting ready for bids. About 2 weeks or so went by. The property had a good number of showings and bids. A day after the bidding period ended, which was probably on the Monday, because that's typically when HUD opens and reviews all bids, I get a threatening voicemail from the neighbor about how he will not allow any more trespassers, and basically says something that it's his right to protect his land. So obviously his bid didn't get accepted. An hour or so later, a call comes in from one of my field guys. He told me that someone placed a barrier on the road and that he couldn't get to the property. He also said that there were a bunch of no trespassing signs posted. A few minutes after that, another call comes in from the buyer's agent that won the bid, saying that he tried to view the property again and asked me what was going on with these no trespassing signs. I told him that I wasn't sure what was going on, but because HUD requires us to check on the property, I was going to request a sheriff's escort to get to the property, and he could tag along if he wanted to. The next morning, a couple of deputies met us at the entrance off the main road and proceeded to escort us onto the property. The neighbor and his family must have seen us and were waiting as we pulled up. Pretty much the back and forth was that they were saying that we were trespassing, and we were saying that we had permission to the property since it was a HUD property under contract for sale. After some more back and forth, the deputies pulled us to the side and told us that it didn't look like we would begin to the property anytime soon, and that it was a civil matter that they shouldn't be involved with. My interpretation was that they didn't want to get in a shootout with these folks, and it would be best that we leave. Long story short, we left, and nobody was shot. I told HUD that we no longer be servicing this property for the fear of our safety, and we never attempted to visit the property again. HUD did end up canceling the contract with the buyer. Years later, I found out the neighbors waited out the bank long enough that he was able to buy the property back from the bank for pennies on the dollar. So that's my story on how I had to get a sheriff escort while trying to sell the house.